What killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age!
Episode 3 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters continues the chaotic, globe-trotting adventure, but luckily some characters get to relax and chill.
Cool party.
I'm J-Buck. Welcome to J-Buck Studios. I appreciate you stopping by. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down everything in Episode 3, small MonsterVerse movie Easter eggs, things you may have missed, and theories on where things may be going. Strap in and prepare for a rough landing as we get into Episode 3 of Monarch Legacy of Monsters. Starting in the past timeline, it is 1954, 2 years after the Eye-on Dragon sighting in the Philippines, and Monarch is full-on monster hunting mode, but unfortunately money is a problem. Seeking funding from the US military, saying that all they need is 150 pounds of uranium. Not a big ask, just a little bit to lure out Godzilla. The general quickly responds with,
"That's as much as we dropped on Japan."
A bit ironic because Godzilla was originally conceived as a metaphor for nuclear weapons after the World War II atomic bombings. Randa mentions Godzilla may be moving around via teleportation, which is kinda sorta how the Hollow Earth tunnels work in King of the Monsters, quickly showing up halfway around the globe in no time. They grab the funding, sending them to Bikini Atoll, where the government actually wants to blow Godzilla.
Hey, yo!
No, blow him to smithereens, blow that lizard boy up. Surprisingly enough, all of this is a very well done recreation of the opening credits of 2014's Godzilla. The nuclear bomb prepping, everyone with goggles, the explosion with Godzilla, who, by the way, looks amazing. Like, the VFX are off the charts, chef's kiss for this big guy. The general casually jokes about hauling the big boy back to Los Alamos, a nod to the original site for the atomic bomb research, testing, and creation during World War II. Heck, the general wanting to neutralize this beast before even researching it, giving it a shot to see what side it's on, is the same ideology of Sam Jackson's character from Kong Skull Island, the mentality of finding an enemy when there isn't one. Surprisingly enough, the Bikini Atoll nuclear bomb explosion ties in with the real history of this area, as Bikini Atoll was used as a nuclear test site between the years of 1946 to 1958, roughly 23 tests on the books, with the largest ever being recorded as Operation Castle, starting with the Castle Bravo bomb, which happened to be the name of one of the research facilities in Godzilla King of the Monsters. It was a horrible series of events as the U.S. forces forcibly removed native islanders from the Marshall Islands. This unprecedented testing caused the Bikinians to deal with the loss of their homes, starvation, and some of the worst radiation contamination ever recorded. Their culture, homeland, everything was lost due to government experiments. This is also, on a much lighter note, Bikini Bottom. This is the site of Bikini Bottom for hardcore SpongeBob fans out there. Even though this did not go their way, Randa, Shaw, and Kyoko get a blank check from the military to set up a string of Monarch outposts, more than likely being the start of the sites that we later see in Godzilla King of the Monsters. Adding to the reasons for funding is what if the monsters, say, were to have attacked New York or Washington? New York being the site of the 1998's Godzilla, which is non-canon here, but Washington, D.C. was attacked by King Ghidorah in the King of the Monsters movie. Either way, they'd receive their funding, monster hunting time, but make a slippery little deal with Shaw about only passing along certain information on Titans so that they can study them and research them a little bit more, rather than just, shoving a bomb down their throats. Fast forward to the present timeline, Shaw and crew get the heck out of the Monarch holding facility he has been stuck in. Full-on Tokyo Drift style, Kate calls out Shaw's driving as insane, with him calling out their grandmother's driving being just as wild. A nice callback to him nervously riding with Kyoko back in episode 2. In the background of their escape is Mount Fuji, Japan's tallest peak, and site of many Godzilla brawls in previous movies, including the iconic 1962 King Kong vs. Godzilla event. They hop aboard a freight ship on their way to South Korea and learn that Monarch was created sometime in the late 1940s, more than likely with more than solely Godzilla being awoken during the events of World War II. Last week, I made a joke about Lee Shaw being in his 90s, which the writers cleverly and quickly address.
What can I say? Good genes, huh?
Shaw continues saying that Monarch has lost its way, further hinting at Tim and the overall organization having nefarious motives under the surface and would help explain why they are testifying in court in the 2019 Godzilla King of Monsters. In between this, May is talking to someone about coming home and has to ditch the phone before someone or something can track her. She then gets into a physical, upset altercation with Kentaro about her life being ruined. May, for whatever reason, has been on the run. She is running, and I'm guessing sort of in trouble at home, and this person on the other line has got to be one of her parents. I'm curious if we'll find out more about what drove her to Japan in the first place, while it seems trouble in paradise is something that she's going to have to confront sooner rather than later. The group decides to dump the old Monarch file hard copies into the ocean right before porting into Pohang, South Korea, of which goes horribly wrong until Shaw and his buddy reveal it's all part of the plan, baby, learning that they are flying a UC-78B Bamboo bomber to Alaska, first manufactured in the 1940s and were later heavily featured in the 1940s and 50s television series Sky King, hence why May refers to it as vintage rather than old, much like the record player that she talks about in episode 1. The Monarch crew is dealing with problems of their own as we meet the ominous Natalia Verdugo, briefly mentioned in the first 2 episodes, appearing to be a very high-ranking member in Monarch. She's flown to Japan, retrieving Tim and Duval, who were apparently not given authorization to enter the field to retrieve whatever is hidden on the old Bill Randa Monarch files. Heck, Verdugo even mentions that they are probably worthless, nothing of note in them, but then again, why is Lee Shaw tied to this mess to begin with? There's an offhanded mention of Dr. Sarasawa, Ken Watanabe's Monarch scientist character from 2014's Godzilla, and 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters.
Let them fight.
He's also named after the scientist who killed Godzilla in the original 1954 film. However, plans change as Duval receives intel of Shaw's South Korea shenanigans and insists Tim teams up with her on this wild Shaw chase. And I'm sensing a little bit of chemistry between the pair, but then again, I've never been good at reading signs. So it's setting them up on a buddy cop track down Shaw mission. Heck, the pair could actually be rogue agents hidden within Monarch, because unlike the later movies, Monarch seems hella shady right now. Aboard the Bamboo bomber, Shaw reveals a bit more about who Hiroshi actually was, and I see this entire adventure as a bonding opportunity for both Kentaro and Kate. Even in the van earlier, they cheekily banter with one another, finding commonalities with their memories of their father. But the more exciting thing is what May found via the coordinates and Alaskan keywords, first making a remark about Yukon Yeti, a subtle nod to the Godzilla animated series, specifically the Robo Yeti episode. But she found specific coordinate locations around the globe, referring back to Hiroshi's notes, mentioning Mexico, Asian steppes, and North Africa, of which are all well-known Titan locations from Godzilla King of the Monsters. However, the specific location Hiroshi was going to was somewhere between Nome and Barrow, Alaska, probably being the specific Gamma activity location in the hidden files from the Monarch Unlocked website. So from this information, Hiroshi was probably hunting down new Titans that Monarch either didn't know about or hadn't fully cataloged. They fly through a similar storm cell that was surrounding both Skull Island and King Ghidorah when he was on the move in King of the Monsters. And this is either because of the gamma radiation in that area, or it's produced by the very same Titan that Kentaro notices outside of the window and later appears at the end of this episode. Upon landing, they quickly learn Hiroshi's plane didn't crash because someone had to have set up base camp, figuring it was Hiroshi because of the pencil shavings and handwriting on the map. Now, the map looks as though he's been tracking something, specifically the unknown Titan, at the end of this episode. However, if we quickly translate Hiroshi's notes, it states, heat, reaction, megafauna discovered, evidence of the existence of biological nuclear weapons. Meaning another giant Godzilla-like Titan has been discovered, but more interesting is the heat and reaction. At the end of this episode, it's learned that the plane didn't crash, but was destroyed by the hedgehog meets pangolin mixed with a star-nosed mole titan, taking the notes from the 2004's The Day After Tomorrow with its frost breath, instantly freezing Shaw's buddy and the same plane that they flew in on. But if you notice, it firstly goes after the hot engines before freezing the entire plane. So maybe the heat and reaction is pointing to what the Titan is attracted to, or better yet, it's a weakness that we'll learn about probably next week. It's a stretch, but I'm sticking to it. So more than likely, Monarch wants these files because they are indicating factors like maps or coordinates that point towards hidden or still dormant Titans. It would explain how Hiroshi had a run-in with this creature and the gamma activity image from the Monarch Unlocked website. Heck, this could all go even further with some of the information gathered via Bill Randa in the hidden files that was later implemented into the Orca device from King of the Monsters that allowed certain sound frequencies to attract or alter Titan behavior. Anyway, that is episode 3 of Monarch, A Legacy of Monsters. Some more moving pieces, but give me all the monsters, please, because both Godzilla and whatever this unidentified snow titan is look great. John Hammond would be proud because the VFX team spared no expense. The biggest thing we learned is Hiroshi is still no doubt out there somewhere alive, and something somewhere is slowly awakening the Titans in both timelines. What are your thoughts of this Monarch series so far, and what small, maybe movie Easter eggs or references did we miss in episode 3? Please let me know anything and everything in the comments below. Giveaway competitions are starting up again as we'll be giving away 3 random 2023 Blu-ray movies on the 15th of December, and all you gotta do to get a chance of winning this is like this video, make sure to subscribe with notifications on, and drop a comment below with your thoughts on Monarch. We pick the comments at random, and the winners will be listed on screen in December. And if you haven't, please check out all of my other social media accounts for my Shorts and Clips YouTube channel, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everything. We'll be back next week with episode 4, so have a great holiday weekend, eat loads of turkey stuffing, pass out on the couch, enjoy, and bye-bye.